Aloha everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this series of videos I've been showing you how to get started with WordPress on Bluehost. If you're not caught up, I'll leave the link above to the playlist. In the previous video I showed you how to remove themes and plugins and start with a fresh, clean install of WordPress. Aloha everybody, I'm Chris Joels, and in this video I'm going to show you how to move around your WordPress dashboard. I'm going to show you all the tabs and all the settings that you need to know about. I'm going to show you exactly how I set up every new WordPress website that I get started on. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you found it helpful, and let's go. All right, so here we are in our WordPress dashboard. So the first thing I like to do when I'm setting up my WordPress websites is just clean up my dashboard, okay? And you'll see here that they want to give you all kinds of different options on how to set up your site and view your site and stuff like that. Come through here and read these if you'd like. I'm going to basically run you through all those different options. So the first thing I like to do is come up here to my screen options. Okay, there's some things down here that I just don't need, and this is where you can choose to view them or not view them. Okay, that was the welcome screen that we got rid of. So if we go through them one by one, you'll see over here is the site health status, which would be right here. There's nothing wrong with having that, and you could actually come across some good warnings. If you keep this open, you could come across some warnings and deal with some issues before they become a big problem. At a glance is right here. It will show you how many pages, posts, and comments you currently have. This is not a bad thing to have up either. That way, if you know you're supposed to have 25 posts and you come over here one day it says one post, you got a quick issue. So if you know you have 10 pages and you come over here and it says 3 pages one day, you know you have issues. So this is not a bad thing to have open, okay? Activity would be like, you know, what you've published recently. Maybe you've got some new comments and stuff like that, okay? This I don't usually keep open because it just gets too busy. So I'm going to close my activity. Quick draft is right here. This is where you could quickly start a new post and save it as a draft. Again, I find that unuseful, and I'm going to click that too. WordPress events and news I do not find helpful at all because I don't go to the WordPress events, and that's it. And so from here you can drag and drop things like this and that. So I basically like to see my health status and my at a glance right off the bat. As you add plugins to your WordPress install, you will come across more options, more little dashboard options here that you could view, okay? And if you do not see them, remember you could come up here and click on an item to add it down here, okay? All right, so that's our homepage dashboard. From here also we could go up to our updates, and this page will show us if we have any WordPress updates for our actual WordPress install, plugins, and themes. Right here it's telling us that this site is automatically kept up to date. Remember, in our Bluehost dashboard we selected to keep our WordPress install up to date automatically. If we are having problems with our current install, we could reinstall it. If we have any updates to plugins, it will show here, and if we have any updates to themes, it will show here. We could also go to our themes page and update themes, and we could also go to our plugins page and update plugins from there. So next we're going to go over to our post tab, and if, as you see here, it gives you quick things you could do, like see all your posts, add a new post, check your categories, and check your tags. So we're just going to click on the post, and from here you'll see it gives us a list of all our posts that we have. Currently we just have one post, which is this hello world dummy post that it installs with. Don't forget, you could always come up here and check to see what it is that you want to be looking at while you're on this screen, okay? So for instance, I might be the only author, so it's redundant for me to see the author up there every single time, all right? Categories might be important to me, so I'm gonna leave my categories up. Tags might be important to me as well, so I'm gonna leave those up. Comments might be important to me, so I'm gonna leave those up. If you don't have comments, you know, turn it off. Make this a clean page to look at. Okay, that's really important, I think, when dealing with WordPress, is making it easy to look at, easy to digest. Currently, I am not going to have comments on mine, so we'll turn that off. Also, you could check the number of items per page. If you put this to like 100, this page will obviously load slower. So keep this only to a number realistically as high as you need to be. And if you see here, you could have a view mode of contact view and extended view. Okay, so we're back on our post page. And from our post page, we could create a new post. And we're just going to go ahead and click on this real quick to show you what it looks like when you go to create a new post. So you're created to the post creation page where you add a title and start putting in your content. And then from here, you could do other things to your post, which we will go through on a later video. In this video, I'm just showing you how to set up your WordPress website, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and go back. And back here again now is our list of websites. And in our list of websites, when we hovered over, you can see we could go to edit post. And this will take us to the actual post itself that we could edit. We could do a quick edit. And when you click on quick edit, it gives you these options that you could quickly edit of simple things like the title, the date, the categories, whether it's published or not, and stuff like that. So these are for quick updates that you could do. If you had more than one post, let's say you had 3 posts up here and you wanted to change the category, you can select 1, 2, or 3 posts, go to quick edit, go to your category, change it, and then this will update all 3 of those posts that you selected to the new category. And that's pretty much our post page. Now, you could also see down here, you could add a new post. You could check your categories. This is going to show you all the categories you have and allow you to create new categories. You would create your new category here. So let's say you had a movie website. A category could be like action. And then the slug should be the same thing, just all lowercase, okay? And then you could decide if this is going to be a parent category or not. You could give it a description if you would like to, and then you would select add new category. You could also add tags. Now, the difference being is that categories are for more like broader sections and collections, and tags are more things that could be used across different categories. So if you were doing a movie category for action, maybe a tag would be action comedy. Okay, and that would be a tag. And then your slug would be the same thing, all lowercase, okay? Only letters, numbers, and hyphens. So you could do like action comedy would be your slug. The slug is what would show up like at the end of your categories page. And then you would select add new tag. All right, and that should pretty much sum up our post tab up here. Let's go down to the next one, which is media. Come to our media page. This is where all our images will be shown. This is where our videos would be if we have them, and stuff like that. Okay, this is where you could come and organize them and see everything that you have. You could add a new one here. When you add a new image, you could either select the files this way, or you could drag and drop files as this way as well. You could open up your Finder window or whatever you have and just drag and drop that in. On our left panel, you can see we could also add a new one here. And that's real quick, our media library. Next is going to be our pages. This will show all our pages that we currently have. As you'll see, it starts us with a privacy policy page and a sample page. From here, we could edit the page, which will bring us to the whole page editor. Here we could do the same thing as our post and make quick edits. We could trash it, and then we could also preview it by going to its actual page. See, so if we went to the sample page and clicked on preview or view, it would show us our sample page right here. Okay. From here as well, we could also add a new page. If we click on this, I'll show you real quickly that our page builder looks quite similar to our post builder. Okay, we would add our title, our content, and other document necessities here. So let's just go back. And also on here, we have options as well. Once again, what we're going to see down in here in this block. I know I'm the only editor, so I don't need to see that. I know on my pages, I'm not going to allow comments, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to leave the date up. and then I will leave the numbers to 20. I'm gonna apply that. Okay, and there you go. Nice, clean, easy to look at. Next, let's go over to our comments tab. And if we come over here, these are all the comments on all our posts and all our pages. We can see here the comment. We could unapprove it. This comment has been approved. We could reply to it. We could do a quick edit. We could edit the comment. We could spam it, and we could trash it. Okay. We could also see who wrote the comment and their email address tied to their author. And same thing up here, we could go up here and see what we want to be able to see on this page. We definitely want to see the author. We want to see what post they're responding to, and maybe we want to see what date it was that they responded to. From here, we could also, you could check your comments. You could check your pending comments. You could check which ones have been approved, which ones have been spammed, and which ones have been trashed. If we come over here, for instance, to our approved comments, we could also come over here and again, unapprove it and trash it and stuff like that, okay? And if we come over here to this comment, you could unapprove it, and then you could also approve it. So let's go over here to our appearance tab. And if you hover over this appearance tab, you'll see that it comes with a themes, customize, widgets, menus, background, and theme editor. And we're going to go over each one of those. I'm going to show you how I set these up. So first off is our themes. And you're going to see here that you have the ability to get an overlook of all the themes that you have set up. And you could add a new theme here. And you could look at the theme, these themes here. And you'll see you have quick menus here to the same things that are over here, okay? If you come over here to customize, it's going to take us to our front end of our website. And from here, we could do edits. You see they'll have these little pencil icons here. And if you click on something like that, it'll take you to the item over here so you could do some edits to it, okay? This is basically your how you customize some of the broad aspects of WordPress and not necessarily just your theme. Let's just go one by one. You could change your theme from here. From here, you could set your site identity. If you had a logo, you would put that into here, okay? You would upload it here into your media file, and then it would be available for you, and your logo will be shown up. From here is where you would put your site title and your site tagline. Also here, you would select your site icon, or your icon should be 512 by 512, and it's what would show up right up in here if you had one. I'd recommend you put something in there that represents your brand and makes your website identifiable. Okay, so you can also see that if you did make any changes, welcome to the site, you do need to publish it for those changes to be active, okay? So make sure you're always pushing publish every time you update something. Now, you don't always have to press publish. You could update this, come back here, update some colors, and it still remembers what you've done over here, okay? Nothing takes effect though until you press publish. So before I move on to other tabs, because of the internet and because the way things seem to crash when you don't save after a while, I'm constantly, if I'm done with this screen, I'm gonna press publish, okay? And when that's done, we're gonna go ahead and come back. And we're gonna go over to our colors. And you'll see from here, you could change your background colors, you could change your header and footer background colors, and you could change your primary color. These items will change depending on the theme that you are using. Okay, this is picking up on your themes options. And now how much your theme is built in to have your options show up here is all going to be dependent on your theme and the theme builder, okay? And we're going to go to theme options. Again, this is all going to be relative to the theme that you have installed. It's going to show you particular options you have here on your theme, all right? So show search in header, okay? So if we want to show this, we can. If we don't want to, we could remove it. And you'll see it's removed it. Show the author in the bio. So if you want in your bio section, which is not here, you could do that. And then on archive pages, show the full text or just the summary. The archive pages would be where you have a list of all your blogs, right? And in a list of all your blogs, you're not going to want to have all the full text. So I always select this to summary. And that's it for this themes options page. Now this themes option page will be different when we install Divi in a future video, okay? And you know, I do like to have my search bar in my header, so I'm going to go ahead and click that back up. We're going to come back and we're going to go to our covered template. Now this covered template is something I'm not really familiar with because, like I said, things change as depending on the theme that you have on. We currently have 2020 installed here, and a lot of this stuff has to do with this theme that we will not be using. So if you're not going to be using 2020, you go ahead and skip all these options as well. Come back. You can select the background image for your website as well. Keep in mind this background image will appear behind the entire website. Menus. This is your menu. This is a sample menu up here. Okay, and you could create new menus, and you have different locations in which you could place these menus. Okay, you have the desktop, you have a mobile menu and a footer menu and a social menu, and different menus in which you could set up and then place them in different locations. Okay, for instance, in your footer you could have a menu, and you could create a new menu to place in these locations. Okay, there's another place to create menus, and I don't really recommend creating your menus here. So what we'll do is go ahead and go back. We could go to our widgets, and over here we'll give you an idea of our widgets that we have installed and where they are placed. Okay, we have custom widgets in the footer area, and that's about it. Homepage settings, you'll see on our home page, what do we want to show? Do we want to show our latest page, or are we going to create a static page for our home page? And if you are building a website that you are not going to have a blog, you definitely want your home page to show a static page. Okay, and then we'll select the home page, and for now our sample page will be our home page. And if you create a page in which will have your blog, then you can select that page here. Okay, for now we don't have a blog, so we'll leave this unselected. Okay, we're going to publish that. Additional CSS. Now additional CSS is where you could write your own CSS to change the styles of your website, and we will learn CSS in future videos. For now, it's handy to know that this is one place you could add extra CSS. All right, and that's our theme customizer options, and we've published everything, and so we'll go ahead and close this. Don't forget, this theme customizer is just an overview where you can find some of your theme options if they are available from your theme. You can't customize your entire website from here. Okay, widgets. If we go over to our widgets page, you'll see these are where our widgets live, and these are our current options for widgets. You could add plugins, and you could add themes, and sometimes those will add extra widgets. Now your widgets could be placed in areas like your footer or your sidebar. And so if you wanted to add something to your sidebar, like let's say an image, let's say you wanted to add your recent comments to your footer, you just drag and drop it and then put them in the order in which you want them. Okay, you could add a title, something like more appropriate. You could show how many of them you want to show up on your page, and then you would select save. Okay, and then that automatically updates your website. From here you can see other options in which you want to show in your footer and your sidebar. I do not recommend just believing that you need all these and just dragging and drop them all in there. Only set up the ones that your site needs. If we go over to menus, this is where I said you could create new menus, and it's probably the better place to create new menus. Okay, so as you'll see here, we haven't created a menu, so we could create our first menu by giving it a name and where we want it displayed. Okay, and your display locations will change depending on the theme that you have installed. what to put on that page will show up over here. So let's just create a new menu, and we'll call this something like main nav. This will be our main navigation that shows up towards the top of our website, all right? And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our desktop horizontal menu, all right? We're gonna create this menu, and from there, we can decide what we want in that menu. So let's say we want to add this post. We're gonna select it, add it to our menu. And that's actually a page, I'm sorry. And let's say because we want to add something else into here, we could add a post into our main menu. That's kind of weird, but you could do it. And you could also create a custom link. So let's say you wanted your link to go to like google.com for some reason. You can. And then you could add a custom link, a custom name to that link. You could call it Google, or you could call it link to Google. Okay. Now we're going to add that to our menu, and you'll see it here. It is. It's a custom link that we could go in and edit the URL and the label if we need to. Okay. Same thing here. When we have a post, and we could change the navigation label, we don't have to leave it to the title. And same thing with our sample page. If we just wanted to call it sample, we could. We'll just do that. Okay. And we're just going to close all that. And then we are going to save our menu. And then we're going to go to view our website just to show you that it has been updated. And here's our new menu right here. Pretty nifty. Okay, so that's the menus. You can create new menus, and you could also manage locations as well. Let's go back to our appearance and background. This is going to bring us back into our theme customizer where we could change our background, okay? We've been here before. Theme editor. This is not always here. This is dependent, once again, on the theme that you have installed. So the theme editor will bring you to your themes file, and you're going to get here a heads up. If you make edits to your theme files, you can crash your website and make it very, very hard to bring back up. If you do need to make changes to any of these files, they recommend that you make a child theme, and I'll have a link to making a child theme. Okay, so just understand that when you are here, you have access to all your theme files, which could be a very, very dangerous place to live. Okay, so I recommend never coming into theme editor. This is not how you want to paste codes into your website. This is not where you want to go to your theme header and put in Google and stuff like that. You don't want to be messing with your theme files, okay? All right, so let's check out plugins. These are where we're going to have our plugins, and if we want to add a new one, we could add a new one here. And we could either go to the WordPress library and add in plugins here, or we can upload a plugin here by downloading the zip file here. Okay, it needs to be in a zip format, and plugins are pretty easy to install. Let's just say we wanted to install the Akismet. We could install it. Once it's installed, we have to activate it, and then sometimes the plugin will bring you into a setup page. Okay, but you could also come over here to our plugins and see that the plugins were installed, and you'll see we have our plugin installed here. And then from here also we could go and once again deactivate it and delete it. The plugin editor is again a place I would not recommend. It's going to bring you to files that you do not want to ruin and destroy, and this is not where you would make edits to your plugin. Users are going to show you the list of users that you currently have installed on your WordPress website and the different roles you could give them. Okay, so we're just going to come in here and edit this user, which is myself, and you'll see that it has different options. Okay, display the visual editor when writing. You could change the syntax of the highlighting code. You could change the admin color scheme, which I like to do. I like this one. And that basically changes your colors that you have over here. Okay, you could enable keyboard shortcuts for comments. You could show the toolbar when viewing the website, so which means when I go to my website, whether or not I'll see the top toolbar here. Okay, and if you go over here and check out the website, you'll see I'm giving this quick toolbar up here, and that's what that is. And I like to keep that on. From here, you could also enter the author's username, last name, a nickname, their contact info, a website where maybe they own and write from, their biographical info, a picture, and all that good stuff. And then also you could set up a new password or log this user out from everywhere. And since I'm the admin, it won't allow me to change my my user profile. So if you'll come over here, if you come back over here, you'll see that I'm an administrator, and every website needs at least one administrator, so it won't allow me to change my role. But I can change my role to user, author, and what that does is gives them different access to my WordPress website. For instance, you might not want an author to have access to every single settings here. You definitely don't want every user to have access back here. So your different roles will give them different administrative privileges on your back end to your WordPress website. Okay. Now, if we come over here, we have different tools that are kind of rarely used. You could import post and data from other websites. You could export your post and data to send out to other websites. You can check on your site health. You can export your personal data and erase personal data. Okay, this is all kind of new stuff with WordPress for security and privacy. And you can have all personal data erased as well from your website. Now, if we go to settings, this is where some of the more important settings come into play when you are creating a new WordPress website. Here in the general settings, you're going to have your site title and tagline, the address, and the website address. Do not change these, okay? And this you could change and create however you want it. This is going to be your administration email. This is where all the emails pertaining to your WordPress website will be sent. Now, if you want to allow people to register, you could do that here. You could define what a new registered person will be. You definitely want to keep this at subscriber for now. You could choose your languages. You could choose your time zone here. You could choose your date format and your time format. You could also display when a week starts for you, okay, and your cache level. We made some changes, so I'm going to go ahead and save changes. Let's go over to our writing. It's just some quick settings for our post, and when we write new post, our default post category could be over here, okay, and our standard default post format could be over here, and usually I keep it at standard, okay. And then here's options if you want to create post through the email, okay. This is rarely used, so I don't touch these settings back here. Reading is another place, is the place where you could once again set up where you want your post to be displayed and what you want on your home page, okay. So your home page will display a static page because we want to create a custom page for our home page, all right. If we wanted our latest post, we could click this. When we set up a static page here as well, you can select what page that will be. And since you're creating a static page on your home page, it wants you to tell them, okay, well, where do I send your post to? Okay, and you could select a page like your blog page, or you can leave it unselected. Here you can show how many blog pages to show at a time on that page. 10 is a good number. You could show whether or not you want to include the full text or the summary in that feed, okay. And you usually want to do a summary. And search engine visibility. Discourage search engines from indexing this site. So if this was a site that you didn't want to show up on Google search for some reason, like it's a new site or it's a duplicate site, and there's different reasons why you might not want Google to be finding your website, and you could select that here. Be careful though, because if you select this, Google won't crawl your website and potentially will harm your search engine results, whether or not your website is found by others looking for a website like yours. If you come over here, discussion, you could have this is where your comment settings will be, okay, whether or not you want to be notified when someone links to your blog, could be here. whether or not you want to allow some people to submit comments on a new post. You could do that here as well. This is some of the info. Other comment settings. Comment author must fill out name and email. This is a must. User must be registered. Not all the time. Users don't always have to be registered to your website just to leave a comment, okay? But it does help when they have to fill in their name and email. You could also go through some of these settings and see whether or not they will help your website. You could choose whether or not you want to be emailed whenever someone posts and whenever a comment is held for moderation, okay? These are great to have on. Before a comment appears on your website, I like to have it be manually approved. And then comment author must have a previously approved comment before it ever gets automatically approved. Here is where you could put in certain search terms and names or stuff like that in order to make sure that comment is always held to moderation before you approve of it. And this is where you would put disallowed comments, okay? Disallowed words, strings, addresses, and emails and stuff like that. Avatar, whether or not you want to show an image next to where someone leaves a comment, you could do that here. So you could put show avatar. You can make sure that they're suitable for all audience or whatever rating you would like here. And then you could choose what would be your default avatar for people that are leaving comments without an avatar, okay? You could choose a default one here. We've been to, so this is our media settings and what size our thumbnails and images will show up on our website. These are pretty standard, and in most cases these are pretty safe to leave as is, okay, until you get into your website design and decide your website needs specific size thumbnails and images, etc. For coming into permalinks, this is probably one of the most important settings in the back of our WordPress dashboard. When you write a post or a page, it has it spits out something like this. Okay, your URL / and a ID number for that page or post. This is definitely not how you want your website to be read. You want it to show something like yourdiviwebsite.com / about or / home or / blog, correct? And so then that's where you would come down and put your setting for a post name. The post name is also your page name, okay? So nice and clean, yourdiviwebsite.com / the post name or the page name. These come into play when you have something like a news website with news posts and stuff like that, where you need to have a date and stuff like that involved in the URL. Otherwise, this is the most popular one and the most prettier one when it comes down to it. And then we want to save these changes. Privacy, in most websites today, you should have a privacy policy page that you could create either on your own with a lawyer or with a template on the web today. And you would want to create that page, and from here is where you would select to use that page, okay? So if you had different pages to choose from, you would select that. WordPress has built us a privacy policy page, and so we're going to use that. And if we go to our pages setting, you'll see it's here and it's in draft, but let's just go ahead and preview it real quick. And you'll see here it has a generic policy page, which you could use, but I highly recommend you update according to your website and your website business needs. It does say draft. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go to quick edit. We will publish this, okay, and we will press update. And that is all our settings for the WordPress. It's so nice and easy when you have a fresh, clean install and it's set up and ready for you to go and create something awesome with. And there you go. Our dashboard's all set up. Our WordPress settings are all dialed in, so we have a nice, clean platform to start building our website. The following videos, I'm going to teach you how to build websites for yourself, for your community, for friends, and maybe even for clients. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Like it if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Aloha.